Okay, first things first, rest in peace my boy Pablo, rest in peace my boy Fabian. But since we talking about Mexicans primarily in this video, we're gonna start off talking about my boy Pablo. So first off, Pablo, just like Fabian, they both are no longer here with us, and the reason is because of suicide. If y'all are new here, I've been having suicidal ideations, visuals, whatever you want to call it, and plans. I had a plan like 2 months ago of exactly what I wanted to do, but I'm living somewhere else now, so won't be doing that. But anyway, I was under the impression that somebody killed Pablo. I was under the impression that Pablo was poisoned, but the fact actually, apparently, allegedly, is that he poisoned himself to avoid the poisoned people in his life, and that aspect is going to be very important within this conversation. Because here's the thing, people need people. Rest in peace to Benjamin Zephaniah. People need people. And he knew that he had the dilemma of dealing with loneliness or having to deal with, like I said, poisoned people around him. And that's the thing. People need people, but people have to do fucking better. And so, I'm sorry, I'm reading from notes. So I want to say that, first of all, a lot of the things that I've been doing on this page involves me talking a lot of shit about people in my life. And I'm not going to stop doing that, because people got to, and I've said a lot of this shit to people, but some of this shit y'all are not going to be able to get unless it's in this format. So also, a lot of the people who the shit I'm about to talk is because I finally got to Michigan. For y'all that saw the last video, I finally got to Michigan. And because I got to Michigan by myself, anybody that dropped the ball on bringing me out to Michigan, I'm on y'all ass. So this brings us to Pablo's wife. So Pablo has come a long way with his understanding of blackness, race, and being just a good person in general. And I will also say the same for his wife. However, the last time I hung out with this young lady, she's showing that she still also has a really long way to go and has intentionally done shit that she knows she shouldn't do. By the way, side note, I don't know what went down with this, but going back to Pablo committing suicide, so many of the friends in his life apparently like tried to make a move on his wife, and some people have, according to Pablo, successfully made a move with her. And my thing is, this next person that I'm about to bring up, I don't know if that happened with him, but he is definitely somebody that I'm not very fond of. But this person is black, and all of y'all that's watching and don't know who the fuck I'm talking about, doesn't matter. Just understand that Pablo is Mexican, his wife is Mexican, this guy I'm about to talk about is black, and this guy was very good friends with Pablo, and I was not a huge fan of this guy at all. He and I had an issue. And aside from that though, this guy in question, whether I like him or not, you don't have the right to refer to him as a nigga or a boy. And that's the first thing I want to get into. And please don't click off the video. If you do, that's okay. But send it to somebody that is willing to pay attention, because this is important. Stop using the N-word. I'm going to explain to you why you have to stop doing that. Because, and this video is not just about y'all using the N-word, but that's just one aspect of the larger picture that I'm looking to paint here. So when you started to describe whatever issue you had, so Pablo's wife apparently was friends with this guy. This guy's name is Mars. Mars has a baby mama or what have you. 420, I guess I'll spark up. And you know, Pablo's wife is friends with the baby mama. Pablo and the guy are friends. And apparently this guy was being like a bad boyfriend or whatever the fuck. So she's telling the story to me, and she says, I tell her that she needs to do better. She can do better than dating this broke bummy. I don't remember the word I said. I think I called him a broke bummy boy. And I'm like, so I'll tread it lightly when I was with you because you needed to give me a ride back home. But now that I'm back home, you about to get this smoke. We all know what words you use to call you. We all know what words you used to refer to him. And boy ain't better. By the way, for those of y'all that don't know, boy is a word that white people used to use and sometimes still use to this day to try to insinuate that black men are less manly or masculine, go figure, than white people. So they called black men boys. But after you told that story, you told the story in a different way and actually said the word. And then after saying the word, you're going to say, and I know you don't like that. If you know I don't like it, why would you say that shit? Why would you say that shit? And so what I did, for those of y'all watching, I didn't completely let her get away with it. I did mention that it's not a word that anybody should use. But also, I asked, and I was being graceful by saying this, I'm like, I don't know how you identify, but like at the end of the day, everybody's not going to be open to being called that. But let's for a second talk about a homie of mine who I went to school with, Jacob. Shout out to Jacob. Jacob is a Mexican from the West Side, right? He used the N-word, but he knew that some of us, mainly me, don't like that shit, so he never used it talking to me. And he never called me that. But what he has done though is also, while saying people used to be like, oh yeah, you black, and he used to be like, no, I'm not black. I do identify as having African ancestry. But he also identified that the Mexican struggle and the black struggle are not the same. And so I was at least grateful for that. Also, one day we had the opportunity for class to talk about, we got to share with the class like a speech or a poem or a song or something made by somebody that we respect and that wanted to share a message with the class. He recited a poem by a black Puerto Rican person, Afro-Latin, a black Puerto Rican, and they used the N-word in the poem. And contextually, I'm not gonna say he gets a pass or whatever, but this brings me to my next point. You ain't from the West Side. You're not even from Chicago. Where are you from? You know what I'm saying? Cause I remember, like, in that whack ass song you showed me, wrong bitch, you're using and you started off and this is the thing that gets me. You introduced the song saying, now I know that using the N-word is bad, but you know, I didn't know any better, and I just wanted to warn you before I play this song. Whatever. Every usage of the N-word that I've heard you use has always been negative, which is the thing. It's one thing to be from the West Side of Chicago and use the N-word colloquially, but to be a Mexican, and we're gonna get to it, to be a Mexican that's not from Chicago, you not from the hood, you scared of the hood. Anyway, we gonna get to it. Okay, so even if you're from the hood, you're not everybody's friend, right? Even the people who think that y'all friends, you're not everybody's friend. Everybody not a good friend. And aside from that, everybody don't fucking know you. You can't just be running around. Even black people should not think that it's so comfortable to just address people. People get too comfortable with motherfuckers, even outside of race. Just tread lightly with shit. But anyway, there are people who, hold on, I'll give you 1 second. So your people as Mexicans have never been called niggers, okay? And interestingly enough, the mayor of Chicago, black man back in the day, Harold Washington, when he was running for mayor, he addressed a group of Mexican citizens in Chicago, and he said in his speech, hey, we're all niggers. And according to the literature in question, it says that the crowd responded negatively. The crowd responded negatively, which means, yeah, maybe you don't have that history of being called nigger. But even in the history of people such as Native Americans who've been called cherry niggers and prairie niggers, and Middle Easterners who are called sand niggers, Middle Easterners or Arabs and Native Americans, they both have the history of calling or not only their own specific issues of anti-blackness, but literally owned black slaves. Look it up. There are Native American tribes that own black slaves, and there were sex slaves in the there were people who were enslaved for the purpose of sex slavery in the Middle East back in the day, prior to the more popularly known Christian colonialism. But at any rate, let's keep cooking. Also, finally, it's a negative fucking word. It's literally nigger. Why are you trying to say that word? Like, it is that word. It wouldn't exist without that word. It's just like if I say, and I've said this before, but some of y'all may be new. If I say Walker, Texas Ranger, am I not talking about the show with motherfucking Chuck Norris? I'm not saying a different word, just pronouncing it differently and trying to repurpose it is, first of all, that's the black community's situation. It don't have shit to do with anybody else, okay? Especially going back to Miss Missy, who told me, not only if you scared of black people, but not that she didn't tell me she was scared of black people, but she has come to the hood before and acted a fool. She was like, and like I said, she's come a long way, but I didn't even know this about her. She offered this. She used to be scared of Pilsen. Pilsen? Being scared of Pilsen is wild work, G. And we're going to talk about Pilsen. First of all, real quick, for those of y'all that don't know, Pilsen at a certain point used to be considered Mexican trenches, but in more recent times, but I would say as far back as even like 10 plus years ago, it's been significantly gentrified and gentrified. A lot of, black hipsters, like my ex was my introduction to Pilsen, black girl, not even from Chicago, living in Pilsen. And she's not, no hood child that's out here drilling and killing. So I don't think if you scared of Pilsen, you should be saying nigga. But anyway, so yeah, I was finna say something. Oh yeah. So, yeah. Okay, my homeboy Fabian. Rest in peace to my homeboy Fabian, who also died to suicide, and allegedly, he brought someone with him. Which I'm not going to speak in either direction about. I wasn't there, but I do know it's a tragedy, and rest in peace to the other victim. And I know his life was tragic. I also know, just like Pablo, he was surrounded by horrible fucking people. Side note, people have asked me, you got a homie named Fabian, and they see the picture of him and they say, is he Haitian? And I don't remember if he's Haitian, and I feel like I asked him, was he Haitian? I don't know, but we're going to talk about the Haitians, G, because I got Haitians in my family. I am not Haitian, but I do have Haitians in my family. And regardless of me having love for them, I think it's important as it relates to Fabian because like I said, this is a conversation that we need to have with everybody. I'm not just addressing one group, I'm addressing multiple groups because we all need to get this shit on one accord. Listen to me carefully. I remember protesting during the DNC. Go watch my other videos, the video called My Fun Time at the DNC and Fun Time at the DNC Part 2. I remember protesting with a sign that said, attention whites, donate or deposit reparations here. Some black people came and saw me. I was doing my little thing by myself. People saw me, and these motherfuckers I didn't even notice until they started opening up their mouth and saying certain shit. These motherfuckers was Trump niggas, bro. And one of these Trump niggas had on a shirt that said Haiti and a hat that said America First. And I was just like, the foo-fooality of some people. Goofball motherfuckers. Side note, foo-fooality of some people, something I got from Kendall P. Shout out to Kendall P Beats, because if you ever heard a Kendall P Beats song, you heard this is a Kendall P Beats exclusive. That's my voice on there. So yeah, man, motherfuckers is not trying to do this weak ass job shit I've been doing. I'm trying to get into the dispensary, but aside from dispensary, I love doing performance arts, but especially voice acting. I do that voice acting shit. Yeah, hit your boy up. But anyway, so the food for reality is some people. Going back to my boy Fabian though, Fabian did have a friend who was the boyfriend of his little sister named Steven. Now Steven, I assume, is Nigerian, but Steven is also a Trump nigga. Steven, and I think he's Nigerian because of his last name, but my thing is this, G. Yes, it's going to be some Trump niggas. Yes, it's going to be some Trump messes. It's going to be some stupid motherfuckers, G. But I'm thinking back when I was living in Hyde Park. When I was living in Hyde Park, and I had some homeboys, right? They was from Nigeria, right? And they was cool as hell. Some of them was cool. Some of them was some bitch ass motherfuckers, bro. Now, what I need y'all to understand is, just like motherfuckers like Steven, just like, I hit the mic, I think, just like motherfuckers like Steven, just like motherfuckers like the dumbass lady with the hat talking about America first, just like the goofy motherfuckers who I wasn't cool with, we cannot, you can't just want to deport a motherfucker because they asshole or whatever. If that's the case, they can do that shit to us, which is the fucking point. If you black, you look Haitian, G. I don't give a fuck. Do you know how Haitians look? They look like any other kind of black person. They was already oppressing motherfuckers, talking about they was eating cats and dice. It's funny that anyway, but it's not funny, but it's, the reality is, let me wrap this video up, G. The reality is, damn, bro, shut the fuck. Anyway, the reality is, all of us can be a victim of this shit, so we all need to band together, which lets me know on the flip side, I seen a video on Instagram where a motherfucker was, a police officer was abusing a black, damn, G, hold on, y'all. I hate pets, G. I love animals, but I hate the concept of pets. Cause it's like, why do you think dogs act like that? They're not supposed to live in the way. G, stop owning pets. Stop having kids. Cause y'all don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Any fucking way. I saw a video on Instagram where the police, dirty ass CPD, was choking a black man, and first of all, stop recording that shit. This is what I mean. I'm a crash out. I have no problem crashing out. Why are they still barking and I'm not even right there? Pieces of, I'm sorry. Owning pets turns animals into pieces of shit, G. Like that and rabies. Anyway, that's the thing. I was trying to do this video and there's been so many distractions and just let me do my video. Goddamn. Anyway, y'all have no idea how long it's been taking me to do this motherfucking video. And I got another video to record. But anyway, I'm definitely ready to crash out. You see the police doing some shit they not supposed to be doing. You need to at least like go close to the police and like make it harder for them to do shit like that. So yeah, the thing about the video is the person recording is like, why is you choking that man? Y'all supposed to be choking Mexicans. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so listen here. African Americans, we got to do better too. But I need the Mexicans and I need the other non-black, groups to understand why, yes, what we're doing is wrong, but it's not the same.
So number one, I need to explain to y'all what white proximity is. That is what y'all have. If you're not black, but you're not white, that's okay. You still have white proximity, which still means you benefit from privileges that we don't. It still means that you have access to things that we won't. And yeah, y'all ass need to just, understand that shit. So let me put it to you like this. So you say you're not black, but you're not white, right? Cool. Let's say the opposite of black is white, right? Cool. You're right in the middle, right? Imagine that my head is you being in the middle because you're not white and you're not black, right? This is black and this is white. Are white people at the top, you feel me, like financially, socioeconomically? Yes or no? The answer is yes, right? So with that being said, if this is black people and this is white people, they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, and white people are at the top, right? You know what that means? That means that, yes, like I said, my head is still the middle. You're not white, but you're not black. Yeah? You're not above whites, but you are in the socioeconomic, and socio-political realm. You are still above blacks. You still are looked at in a different way than we're looked at. You are still treated differently. The only reason this shit seems like it is different now is because of the whole immigration thing. But then you think about it and you hear that black people are also being persecuted with this immigration shit, then you have to understand that we have multiple layered shit that you don't. And then that's another thing. Because of how ridiculous anti-blackness is, even black people experience anti-blackness, which means that our community is less cohesive than y'all's. Y'all may have occasional DR versus Mexican or DR versus PR, PR versus DR, and then now y'all trying to beef with these Venezuelans for no reason, just like the black people are beefing with the Venezuelans for no reason, which is another thing. Like, unlike a lot of the other immigrants, and some of them, like the Mexicans, unlike them, the Venezuelans don't act scary. I never really get no energy of they in fact embrace black culture a whole fucking lot because they got black people in their families, in their communities. So like, yeah, that's why these gang members from Venezuela wear Bulls jerseys. Maybe they just think that shit fresh. They in Chicago around black people, they wear Jordans. Michael Jordan, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So leave them motherfuckers alone. But anyway, you gotta be kidding me. Another aspect of this white proximity is, like I was talking about Pilsen earlier. Think about neighborhoods like Cicero, right? Well, Cicero is a suburb that's adjacent to Chicago. Just like many other places, used to be all Irish or all Italian. Particularly Cicero used to be all Italian. But a lot of these neighborhoods that used to be like all Irish or all Italian, the white racists, but now the white racists that had gangs in the city and shit like that, those neighborhoods all became all Mexican. Like Satan's Disciples used to be a white gang, predominantly. A lot of the predominantly white gangs are now all predominantly Hispanic. Why? Because I know y'all heard about redlining, but let's talk about just the fact that when a lot of the black people wanted, it was some black people that had money. This is the home of what's the dude? Sammy Davis Jr. and Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahalia Jackson. We had a lot of wealthy people here, but they never was moving to no neighborhood like that. Why? Because no matter how much money they had, the white people was not going to rent to them. But they looked at the Mexicans the same way that they saw themselves, as hard-working immigrants, and they also saw themselves the same way they saw them, which is not black. So yeah, keep that shit in mind the next time you like, no, it's not the same. But at the end of the day, let me leave you with this song. I'll crash out for you, you crash out for me. We're a crash out family, popping great big slugs at the red and white and blue.
Won't you crash out for me too? So yeah, for real, man. Like, we gotta support each other. This shit is not an option. Get on that.